Mistakes that we make, they get us closer to actually achieving our goals. If it wasn't for making mistakes, how would you ever know how well you're doing, how you're performing? Mistakes measure your degree of success. Incremental stages will let you know how you're getting better. Each mistake lessens. It means that you are getting better at what you are doing. Another thing about mistakes actually build our character. The mistakes that we make, it'll let us know we're not infallible. That chip that was on our shoulder that used to say, I got everything covered. I'm always right. Once you run into a circumstance where you make a mistake, you start to develop humility. It humbles you. It lets you know how to become a better version of yourself. It allows you to make a shift in your character. You're telling yourself, I don't know it all. There are things I need to learn. And speaking of learning, mistakes, that's just simply part of the learning process. Whenever you were in school, when you had an assignment that you had to do, maybe some difficult math project or something reading comprehension wise, if you made a mistake, you got it wrong, you got an X by the teacher. But every X allowed you to look at the issue and figure out how you can turn that mistake of you not getting it correct into getting it correct. So it means you had to learn. You had to go back into the books, figure some things out. But that was because of the mistake you had made. That mistake became a valuable learning lesson. That's the whole thing. Mistakes are the best teachers. They really are. Mistakes actually teach us about ourselves. We think we know every aspect of us, but every day we're learning something new. We're discovering something. And during that discovery, we're going to run into situations where we might make mistakes. Maybe in a relationship, friendship, maybe a business circumstance. We're going to make a mistake. The reason is simple. Nobody will live a mistake-free existence. If you do, you have set your bar so low that you can literally walk over it. There's nothing incredible about that. Relish the mistakes that you make, because each mistake is getting you closer to becoming that better version of you, to getting it right. Thomas Edison, he was interviewed. The reporter asked him, how does it feel to fail 10,000 times? Edison replied, I haven't failed 10,000 times. I just found 10,000 ways for it to not work. It takes shifting your attitude to appreciate the mistakes, because each mistake gets you closer to the success. And that's what it's about. David Goggins, he's extreme, but his whole thing is you have to learn how to control your mind. Your mind is going to bombard you with mistakes. Every mistake you've made in the past, the mind is going to do everything that it can to remind you of that. And the reason why is because if you are making the choice to go to another level, then your mind has to take time to adjust to the fact that you are becoming a new person. And until it does, it's going to do everything it can to keep you from going forward. And one of those ways is to remind you of all the mistakes and the failures that you had in the past. It's crazy, but the mind, until it gets used to understanding that you want to achieve a new normal, it's going to do things to discourage you. No one will live a mistake-free existence. So you have a right to be wrong. Understand that you will, at times, have mistakes. There will be failures. Don't let the people around you try to convince you that if you're not perfect each and every time, then you're a failure. The path to success is ripe with mistakes. As long as you continue to get up and keep getting after it, then you're on your way. to achieving your goals. The people that are trying to tell you that if you're not doing it perfectly, then you're a failure, really what they're doing is reflecting their thoughts of themselves onto you. More than likely, they would never hold themselves to a standard that they're attempting to hold you to. Think about it. They want you to be perfect, but not only are they not willing to be, they don't have the capability. No one can be perfect. Getting closer to achieving your goal means that you're going to make many mistakes. You have to make mistakes in order to figure out how to get it right. The person who tells you they've never made a mistake, like I said before, they set their bar so low that they could literally walk over it. They'll never achieve anything remotely great. They'll never be a true success. For them, they think success is the fact that they were able to achieve such a meager goal. A big part of being bold is knowing that you're going to make mistakes. That's courage. Not only are you facing the fact that you're going to make mistakes, you will go back and learn the best ways to be able to correct that mistake. Understand that mistakes happen. You have to learn how to embrace mistakes. Will Smith said this. He said, you have to seek failure in order to grow and get better. You have to push yourself to the point where you are going to make a mistake. You are testing the waters, seeing how far you can go until something stops you from temporarily achieving that goal. You may have made a mistake. You may have made the choice to go left when you really should have gone right. But the one thing about all mistakes, they can be corrected. Taking the left versus right circumstance. You go left, come to find out you either meet a dead end or go somewhere that will not lead you towards your goal. You have the ability to back up and go another route. Mistakes can be corrected. So don't sit here and lead yourself to believe that you should be mistake-free with every attempt you try. When you do that, you will never move forward. You will never achieve anything at all because you'll figure in your mind, as long as I'm stagnant, as long as I'm right here, I can't make a mistake. Now realize it. That is the biggest mistake of all. Choosing not to move, that's a bad decision. And that amounts to a mistake because what happens is, over time, your lack of movement morphs into a form of regret. And now you're on your deathbed saying to yourself, you know what, I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. Not thinking that it was your fear that kept you all those years ago from even attempting. Don't be that person. Understand that mistakes happen. Mistakes will lead you to getting things correct. Don't listen to anybody that's trying to talk about your mistakes. That's trying to put you down. Don't worry about them. The reason why they're doing that, more than likely, is because they don't see you're doing everything you can to achieve your goal. They are not willing to achieve their goals. So instead, they're willing to talk about you for your attempts because there'll be some mistakes along the way. There'll be some failures. They can highlight those things to make themselves look good. Don't worry about them. Just keep moving forward. Learn from the mistakes. Then give yourself the opportunity. Part of the challenges and the grief that we deal with is the fact that when we make a mistake, we've been told that we're an absolute failure, that we'll never make it happen. Don't listen to the grief. All those challenges, what that is, it's adding fuel. It's giving you the fuel to move forward. And once you learn how to master those mistakes, transform them into things that will allow you to achieve your goals, repackage and repurpose all that negative energy of mistakes into a fuel that will allow you to move to the next level, to seek higher heights, and to achieve higher goals. Realize that mistakes are valuable.